Are you looking for an easy way to gain EXP and levels for your vehicles in Cruis'n Blast? Well, this video is for you. And best of all, these methods require little to no effort at all. Today I'm going to show you two methods for gaining EXP and levels in Cruis'n Blast that require little to no effort at all. And trust me, you will see what I mean by that statement of doing so with little to no effort at all by the time you finish watching this video. First up, the solo method. This is best used for just upgrading one car very fast. So to do this, go under single player and then pick the time trials option. From there you can pick any track. I'll just pick the first one here since it's just easy to do. And then after that, pick the car you wish to gain EXP and levels for. For this one, we'll pick the Corvette. Once you have your car decided, click on start to start the race. So we're going to load into a race here. And once the race starts, press the plus button on the controller. From here, you're going to see some options. Press the R button on the controller and you will enable auto accelerate. Press the plus button on your controller again and you will see your vehicle will be driving on its own. You won't need to do anything else at this point. The car will literally drive itself to the very end, to the finish line. You don't have to worry about it crashing off the track. It will stay on that track. Pretty neat, huh? Well, with that said, we're going to fast forward to the end of this race. And you'll see here we'll finish. We'll gain a little bit of cash, as well as gain EXP. And the awesome thing about time trial is no matter how good or bad you do, you will gain at least 800 EXP. And with this method, you will gain 800 EXP every single time. So you can see what I mean by this method by little to no effort at all, because you're just starting the time trial and letting the game play itself. This is great if you want to upgrade all the vehicles, because I know that can get tedious after a while, but there's a little bit of a better way we can multiply this. For this next method, it's best if you have 3 controllers, preferably 4. If you have a Pro controller and your Joy-Cons, well, good news, you already have 3 controllers. For the 4th, I'm just going to use a SNES controller hooked up to the G-Bros adapter. As long as you have a Switch compatible controller that has a start, A, and R button, you are good to go. From the starting menu, select multiplayer and then select 3 players or 4 players that corresponds to the number of controllers you have available. So if you have 3 controllers, select 3 players. If you have 4, select 4 players. Once you select the option, make sure to activate your controllers. It'll go through that setup process here, which will require you to press L and R on each controller to activate them, and then press A when you're ready. From here, you'll have a lot of options to select as far as races go. I like to go with first to 3, because that gets me more bang for my buck here in terms of number of races. But if you just want to do a single race or do a tour of 4 races, it's up to you. Once you get your mode selected, it's the same as before. You want to select the car that you want to gain EXP for. But in this case, you want to select it for each controller, so you can do 4 at a time. So we'll just go with these vehicles here, and then just start the race. We're going to load in just like before, and once the race starts, press the plus button on a controller. And then on each controller, make sure auto accelerate is enabled. And you do so by pressing the R button on the corresponding controller. Once you've done that, press the plus button, and from here, the game will just play itself. So again, like before, we're just going to fast forward to the end. Once the race is finished, you'll see that every single vehicle has gained some EXP, and we did so by literally having the game just play itself. Again, this is great if you just want to upgrade a bunch of cars at once. If you're going for just a single vehicle or 2, the solo method is probably a better method. but I found the multi-method to be my method of choice, especially since I want to upgrade a bunch of vehicles. And just to double back, first to 3 is a great option because you get to go through a bunch of races. But just to note that once you enable auto accelerate, it will stay enabled until you disable it by pressing the R button again in the start menu. And as you can see, both methods are great for doing very little. You can do this while you're doing some work or while you're watching TV. Just have the game playing by itself and upgrade vehicles. You just have to make sure to start each race, of course. And I got a bunch of upgrades by just playing the game. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to do it without doing a lot of effort, this is the way to do it. If you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up. It helps out this video, helps out the channel. Share it with your friends. The lazy man's EXP method for Cruis'n Blast. That's what I'm going to call it. No shame in that. Upgrading these vehicles does take a lot of time, and time is valuable. And if you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing. Of course, I do a bunch of tips and tricks, but I also put out a bunch of videos on the Nintendo Switch news, game reviews, as well as deal videos. I've been doing that. Plus, I'm going to debut a new series tomorrow, hopefully, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you're a subscriber so you never miss a single video. And of course, I'd like to give a shout out to the Patreon members, the members of the Kaiju Club. They help to support this channel. Thank you so much for being a Patreon member. If you wish to become a Patreon member and help support this channel, check out the link on screen right now. It's also in the description box down below. But with that said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Have a wonderful day, and I will catch you next time.